Hi, welcome to the Pundits Pundit. And I am your moderator for this evening. And I'm going to let Jacob Christner, the original Pundits Pundit, introduce everyone.
Well, we have. Sorry for the night for the four fans of Jay's. He's not around for tonight.
I thought he had five. Did one get mad at him?
I love Jay. He knows it. He's not around tonight, but we've got ourselves Jenn back to the original with the Pundits Pundit, and we have Scott, the Motor City Madmouth. How are you doing tonight?
Doing great, Jacob. Glad to be here on the show. Been looking forward to it for a while, and here we are.
You're going to enjoy this because this is going to be a lot of different topics. The topics are always different, and I will be on his show 9:15 tonight.
You bet.
Yes. Sorry, I was commenting on our page. Sorry.
Oh boy, Willer Light. Oh, he's on. No. He's on Sunday nights.
I know, but I'm asking where he is because he's usually in the comment section.
Exactly.
All right, I'll stop it now. All right, sorry. Okay, so Scott has a great background. Just for everyone who doesn't know, he can tell us a little bit about that in the next 30 seconds or so. But I have one question for you.
Go for it.
What will it take to get Matt Rule out of my home stadium and away from my team?
Unfortunately, a losing season and
here for it.
There for one more. Usually, what it takes to get a coach run out of town is one more bad year and not getting into playoffs, especially with Baker Mayfield at the helm. I'm sorry, Jen. To see the Panthers win, but when I wanted Rod Marinelli out of Detroit so bad because of a winless season, it took a bad year and my birthday to get it done. So, and he did get fired on December 29th, by the way, back then. So,
Scott, the biggest thing about it is here's the thing: Matt Rule's just useless in general in the pro football in general. At least Rod Marinelli can do a defense. Because I saw that in Chicago. He can put a defense together. So there's that. But Rules, I mean, everybody keeps saying put him back to college. I don't want to. What did college do to us to give him that kind of punishment?
Take him back.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you one thing about Rod Marinelli, though, Jacob and Jen. He's the worst travel agent on the planet because when he first came to Detroit, he took a trip to Oakland, a day trip, and expected the Lions to play a game that day. And if you know what it's like to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast and do it in a day trip and make his team play because he's a military man, holy moly, bad move. So he's a horrible travel agent. He was a horrible coach. But, I don't care about his defensive coordinator. It resulted in his 0-16 year for the Lions. But to answer your question, okay, what will it take? Unfortunately, another losing season where the Panthers underperform.
Well, he's completely correct because Matt Nagy had he had a Dodge Charger at quarterback, ruined that. Then he gets himself an actual Bugatti or a Lamborghini. People expected him to actually do well with it. And then they still gave him the Lamborghini anyway, grinded the gears. He grinded the gears, hurt the kid, didn't give him a protection. Then they finally fired him. But not before Justin Fields now has to have a huge year to be able to keep from having competition. But it's and this is correct with Rule. You're right, but I wish Rule could go.
Yeah, he needs to go back to school. And plus, I mean, seriously, whoever, I crack up because Trey Boston tweeted during the Buffalo Bills game last year that one of the Bills players told him, and he said, I can't take credit for this. This came from a Bills player, but the entire NFL has a send Rule back to school agenda. And honestly, I don't like him personally. I ran into him. Literally, we ran into each other 3 times. He never said, excuse me or pardon me. I always did until the third time. The third time I said, sir, you're in the South. You can use your manners.
Well, by the way, you suck.
You have to understand, though, not all college coaches turn out to be pro coaches either.
Oh, absolutely. Pete Carroll is the only one who kept getting chance after chance.
Well, I don't know.
Johnson was great.
Jimmy Johnson was pretty good. Jimmy Johnson, formerly of the Cowboys.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson was
good. I said
good.
very few. I didn't say none.
I know you did, but I'm just saying And I worked with one that actually went from pros to college and did pretty well, named Howard Schnellenberger. Howard Schnellenberger was a
Oh yeah.
program builder. And, the only reason why he didn't succeed, honestly, is because he had a raw deal with Robert Irsay with the Baltimore Colts. And Robert Irsay was a drunk anyways. And
you can't say that name in Baltimore without getting into a fight.
Oh, no, you're right, Jen.
I'll tell you this: Schnellenberger in like 77 or 78, but completely rebuilt Florida Atlantic.
Well, he didn't rebuild it.
He built it. Period. He built
from
it
the ground up.
Yeah,
I've known Coach Schnellenberger until he passed away for a long, long time. Got a lot of great photos and a lot of great advice, a lot of great interviews. So he was like a father to me. He really was. Yeah. He's the reason I covered the University of Miami. Then I bolted over to Florida Atlantic University. But there are some pro coaches that actually, not college coaches that make it, but very few. I mean, if you really want to play, I mean, one of the ones I thought would make it was Bud Wilkinson before your time, formerly of Oklahoma.
St. Louis Cardinals. Blah.
Yeah, but he was a good coach too.
Did terrible with the Jim Ray Hart. Did terrible with the Jim Hart and who was the other quarterback he was facing with? It was Jim Hart and.
Well, I know Jim Hart. I can't remember.
There was another one. It was a first-round draft pick that Wilkinson absolutely did not want to play. Didn't want to play him, and did not want to play him at all. None. And they absolutely when Wilkinson was gone, they played him, and he was terrible. This was in '77.
I'm wondering if it was it Kelly Stauffer?
Nope. Too early.
Okay, he came a little bit later, I think.
Yeah.
I was disappointed in Seifert.
Who?
But I was glad he was the one and done. Pretty much.
Yeah. George Seifert?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't George Seifert 2 years?
No, I thought he was 1 year, wasn't he?
Oh, okay, 1 in 15, wasn't he?
Yeah, wasn't. Yeah,
I thought he got chased out.
I thought he was going to do pretty well.
So you would know about the leaf blowers or whatever the hell they had. You know about that, I'm guessing.
Right.
You know that story? The leaf blowers?
Sounds vaguely familiar. Refresh my memory.
Before we go on to the thing, here's the thing with the leaf blowers. In San Francisco, he put one leaf blower on just to before they played New Orleans to be able to. Basically, it was the equal of the noise inside of New Orleans. So he puts a leaf blower behind the offensive line and the quarterback so they can be able to do signals and be able to do it. And they won the game. So he tries the same in Carolina, only does it with a pile of leaf blowers, and the gas and everything was starting to leak, and it made everybody sick. So then they come in on Sunday, they're already still sick. So they got their butt kicked.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, now that you brought that up, another college guy that actually did okay in the pros was a guy by the name of Ron Meyer. When he was with SMU, he did okay with the Patriots. He didn't do too bad.
But he wasn't. Yeah, I mean, wasn't he with the Colts also?
Yeah, he didn't really do bad there either. I have to look it up, but we all know that Ron Meyer's known for the old snowblower incident that Don Shula blew a gasket when he had the guy out of jail just to go ahead and move and clear that field goal that resulted in a Patriots 3-0 win. And I remember when I was at Super Bowl 33, I spent time with Ron talking about it. It was funny.
Well, Jen, we've got a first topic for tonight, don't we?
We do. Margaret Court and the political games behind accolades. Oh. So for those who don't know, Margaret Court was an Australian athlete or Australian tennis player. She was ranked number 1 and considered to be one of the greatest of all times. She won 24 major single titles, and a total of 64 major titles are the most in tennis history. And she came out 2 days ago and said how much she admired Serena Williams, but she has never admired her. That's what she said.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like that's just, why would you come out and say something like that if you're not just dusty?
Well, see, I've had 2 things this week to say about the Margaret Court. The first one was, no doubt about it, that the U.S. Open not inviting her. And you see, Wimbledon was going to invite her before COVID, but then that got canceled. Then after that, everybody just stopped inviting her. And I'm like, that's just ridiculous, and that's just politics. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing I'm bringing up. That's politics.
No, why do you think she wasn't invited? Is it because what her
Oh,
career
no,
is
she's been talking about trans. What she's been talking about with trans people, which is absolutely true.
Because she's Christian.
Yeah.
She's a Christian minister.
Well, yeah, which is ridiculous.
But here's the thing, like, Bruce, I mean, Caitlyn Jenner doesn't get grief. And she says this similar things.
Well, it's just because again, it's politics. And it's like everything is politics are nothing but pandering. It's like you get a bunch of kids that want to see what they are. They're like the kids who want the cool kids to look at you. They want them to look at you and hope that you like them. The cool kids right now are all the disenfranchised. And it's like, but the thing is, the quote unquote cool kids don't like them. They don't like them for pandering. Hollywood just had a whole thing right now over the brand new show they have with the rings. I forget the name of the thing. It's supposed to because right now they cast because what was that ring show? I forget the name of it. It's like you know what I'm talking about, Scott?
Not really.
No, it's on the streaming. I think it's supposed to be a Lord of the Rings. Well, no, it's not Lord of the Rings, but it's like it's supposed to be a bunch of there's supposed to be a bunch of minority actors and a bunch of racist kids online and people are irritated at it. Right. Which of course that gets news. It's like, why does it get news? You are giving them news and you're giving them oxygen, which you shouldn't. This is the thing about it. Why are we playing these political games, and why do you not give Margaret Court her accolades? That's what I'm saying.
Well, here, the only thing I can really add to that, okay, is the reason why she never got a lot of accolades early on is she didn't have social media either, and the news information cycle being what it is now. You got back then, times were a lot different. When they traveled, they were gone from their families, 10 months at a time. Then they didn't have psychologists and whatever the case is. Yeah. I think she deserves to get the accolades, but you got to wonder though, and I'm just curious that I read up on this a couple of days ago that, when you talk about same-sex marriage and you're not really overly, that's a subject that a lot of people, it's a sticky subject that many people kind of like to stay away from.
Well, something one of the problems with something like this is they're trying to get their revenge for the McCarthy hearings in the 50s in their own way. And the problem with that is the fact that if there ever is a time that the conservatives get a super majority, they'll get theirs back. They'll get this revenge back. It's like when you go to a school and someone punches you, so you punch them back. You get a principal that goes, okay, so what's going to happen? You're going to take a ball bat to him? What are you going to do, shoot him? It's going to keep happening until someone just finally says this is dumb. It's like we have to get to a point where people do have an opinion, start debating, quit hating.
I like that line. It's a good, stop debating, quit.
What do you think, though, Jen? I'm just wanting to know.
Oh, I'm all for it. I'm here for it because here's the problem we've had with the last two presidents, excluding, Biden's kind of a carryover, but between President Obama and President Trump, the division has been you can't disagree with someone without being one way or another. Me, I'm really independent and I just say do the right thing. And I feel like those two presidents have made it. I mean, I've seen them tear apart families.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. It's balloon.
But Jennifer,
we have to be able to have those conversations and those debates without hating.
But I wish it was that easy, Jen, because
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, how many years we had presidents? 250? Is it really that easy? Is there a president where debating and hating comes into play? I mean, I realize there's some good ones and some bad ones. I get it, but it's easier said than done is what I'm really basically saying.
Exactly. And you've got to be able to discuss. And it's funny because I feel like politics is the main thing that's dividing people, because I think, and sadly, trans and LGBTQ community is under fire. And because of the political agendas and because religion is being so brought into politics right now.
Everything is under fire because the media is that way. The media puts everything in a box.
Yeah, because the squeaky wheel gets the grease, right?
Yeah, the media puts.
So, like, how many members of the Proud Boys are there? Like 2,500, 3,000? I don't know.
I'd say about 17.
No, there were more than that.
I know,
the park in Charlotte.
No, but it's like, no, I know.
Like,
no,
I mean, and they're on the news, or they were on the news so much.
I was just giving. No.
Oh, I know.
Was just giving a joke. I was giving a joke number, but I'm like, to me, the Proud Boys are a joke, and it's like, to me, they are, and I'm just talking about their views. To me, the Proud Boys are just right wing Antifa.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, like, they were trying to do an agenda here in Charlotte, and the mayor at the time really screwed it up, where Wells Fargo and Bank of America had asked city council to make, because Columbia, South Carolina has it, a universal bathroom as well. Men, women, universal bathroom. That way it wasn't labeled. People could go wherever they wanted to go. Like, I'm not going to lie. If I got to go and I see the family bathrooms available, I'm going to go in the family bathroom. Not going to lie. And usually it's cleaner. But
look at the mistake they made on that by even mentioning it. Go to a Starbucks, go to a Target. Target mentioned it, but it's like, look at the places and stuff like that. You see family bathroom. Look at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's been unisex since we've known it. It's like, the idea of it is they said you're not going to, the way that and
it was brought to when small things like that are made a big deal.
Yes.
And sometimes it's not just the media. Sometimes it's the politicians being stupid and wanting that news bite.
Oh, and that opens Ted Cruz up. I mean, when you see something like that, and it's like, come on.
Well, what's hilarious is even members of his own party refer to him as the devil.
Well, I'm just saying, that opens up. I'm just saying that's good, and yes, but I'm just saying that's going to open him up, and it's like, and that'll open Craig Abbott up, and that'll open those guys, and it's like, no, it's like, guess what? If you silently put those bathrooms in there, no one would notice. Zero,
right.
Zilch.
Didn't need to be a thing. But like, what's funny is, so Margaret Court made her comment. She had her interview with, who was it again? The Daily, with the Daily Telegraph and Oliver Brown. Well, and the Guardian, Melissa Lawrence Corbett writes, "Here comes Miss Anne. Black people know the likes of Margaret Court all too well." And I had never heard this phrase, but apparently it's another phrase for a Karen, but one that just not as bad as a Karen. But and they're used to people like Margaret Court and Margaret Court herself making inflammatory comments and just trying to get in the limelight. Personally, I've never really paid attention to Margaret Court. I'm not the biggest tennis aficionado.
Well, I brought this on for that. And Scott, you and I, you're a little older than I am, but I'm saying this.
Right.
You and I come from a generation. It's like, remember when our dads or our parents or uncles or whatever would say, either knock on their nose and walk away or walk away or ignore them. Remember when they would say these things? And it's like, we have a generation that does not know how to ignore. This is what I'm saying about this, both of you,
right.
Jen. And it's like, Trump takes advantage of that. The fact
you
that
said it great on the phone the other night, Jacob.
Huh?
When you said people just need to stop giving him so much attention.
Yep.
Stop talking about him. He'll go away.
Well, he'll also melt down. He'll make the real mistakes, because the mistakes that keep getting made.
He's made a couple of real mistakes.
Guess what? They are right on the line, but they won't get anywhere in comparison to if you don't talk about him. You watch him make a real mistake.
We need to stop talking about him. Totally.
Yeah.
I will. But I will say, I don't think he's actually going to go to a brick and mortar jail. If anything did happen to him, Secret Service couldn't protect him there.
Guess what? He goes to a brick and mortar jail if you leave him alone. He will make the mistake to try to get attention. He will. And I'm just saying, if true, you will see it. He has to have attention. He will do this.
He does have to have attention, but I can see him actually acting where to come.
Yeah. I think you guys make a good point, though, that this generation doesn't ignore. I think you're really right about that. Whereas in our generation, I think as you get older, sometimes you tend to appreciate the fact that you've mellowed out a little bit and that you've seen an awful lot. So you kind of understand the perspective to ignore. But sometimes it's harder even for the older generation to ignore too, as much as we want to think that you can do. You know what I mean, Jacob?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm with you all the way. This is one of those things where we have to really look at the sum of the whole and the whole of the sum, and then try to make a judgment from there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And people just have to be able to pick and choose their battles.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's trying to. They think they're winning a battle, and it's not fair. And it's like, and people keep saying, "Oh, it's a civil war." They're going to have a civil war. Well, guess what? I go outdoors every day. A lot of these people behind a keyboard don't. I go outdoors every day. I went outdoors for 14 hours a day during the lockdown. I was a delivery driver. It's like I went out 14 minutes. I did not even wear a mask other than like 12 hours for 2 years. And I would be in grocery stores trying to get food. Right. And I mean, I would get that. And it's like I went out there, and guess what?
Well, you were in your car and getting food and taking it to people and leaving it at their door too.
Well, I was also walking outside a ton.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? I didn't. Hold on, Jen. I can't hear you. Hold on. Can you hear it? Can we hear you, Jen?
It's freezing up.
Oh yeah, but no. See, no. What'd you say?
Can you hear me?
A little.
Hold on. Is that better?
Yes, I wanted to say one more thing though. Yeah, I didn't. I was in my car and I did do that, but I also walked outside a ton.
And you were protected.
Huh? Well, outdoors, absolutely. And I also went indoors and I did that. That was my thing. Hello. Yeah, I can. So those were the things though. But it's like, so many people didn't even do that. That was my point. They didn't even do that. They stayed in their homes and then they went nuts. Maybe she's frozen at that take I just had.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Should I look?
Oh boy. Well, what we're going to talk about next, hey Jen, hold on a second. What we're going to talk about next is Jerry Jones. You know about the natural gas deal, don't you, Scott?
General idea.
Well, what we have is he made a real deal within a couple of years ago during the pandemic.
Okay.
Made a real deal during that type of thing with natural gas. Took a chance deal, especially with the brand new presidency. Took it with natural gas. Took it that, sold it off, and he's made up to about $3.4 billion.
Wow.
During this time, especially with gas, and he made it because he knew that there was going to be a new, and he made it during this time when the gas prices went up.
Okay.
And it's like, and this was my whole point about, and I was saying why owners don't have to make money.
Right.
They don't have to make money. Look at the thing is, after all these years with Detroit,
right.
After all these years with Detroit, the Ford family and everything like that, since 1957, one playoff win. And It's like, and then they wonder how they make money. But they make money. So here's the thing. You, as somebody who's been in Detroit, you can tell the people how they can keep making money and not win.
That's easy. You know how easy it is? Okay, number one, unlike Major League Baseball, they have revenue sharing. Period.
Right.
TV contracts going to pay the bills no matter what. I mean, let's face reality. Unlike Major League Baseball, you have the haves and the have-nots. And in the NFL, there's parity.
And then there's also another thing too, is the fact when a team isn't winning, and here's the thing: some will go out for this, and some want to win. Hey Jen, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't see you yet.
Oh, I'm a ghost.
Yeah. There you are. Now there's a little bit of life on that photo. There you go.
There you go. No, and we were talking about Jerry Jones for a second, the natural gas deal. You know about that, Jen, right? Oh boy, here we go again. The biggest thing about it also is a lot of these owners, not every one of them, a lot of them want to win. But remember, if you don't win, you don't have to pay your players. Yeah, you know, you don't have to pay your players. You can get them off, and you can go get them off to another team, and then you can just keep going. Just keep going with the same cycle. You don't have to pay them, and then guess what? You don't have to renovate stadiums. You don't have to do all the stuff that keeps to win. And those are the things about it is the fact it is more than tickets. And a lot of fans think it's tickets, that they get their money from ticket sales, maybe concessions. But there's so many more things. I mean, you've seen that yourself, though, have you not?
Yeah, of course I have, obviously.
I mean, look, they make their money from TV deals. We can come up with a way to come with TV deals. You know, from, whether it's a local TV deal or whatever, you get revenue sharing from the NFL. I mean, they want to keep Jerry Jones happy.
Right.
You know, keep Jerry Jones happy. It's like, and then remember the big thing now. And I'm telling you this part: the Chicago Bears will be selling their team eventually.
Oh, you think so? I heard.
I mean, she's 100 years old.
Yeah, but I love that sweet thing that they're looking at over in Arlington Heights. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, see, that's the thing. Look at all of this. You got to realize the Bears and the Bengals are the only two teams that make their money. The Brown family and the McCaskies are the only ones that make their money totally off of football. Everybody else has real estate, oil, all those.
Oh yeah. No, you got to be pretty wealthy to be in the NFL. You have to be a billionaire to be in the NFL by today's standards.
Well, the McCaskies, they're the sixth. They're sixth most. They just found out that on Forbes, they're the sixth most valuable in sports right now. The NFL, you know, or either NFL or sports, but they're the sixth most valuable. The Bears, and it's like that's going to make them valuable for the sale.
Yeah, well, whereas the Detroit Lions are near the bottom of the food chain in terms of revenue, I know that, but a lot of that's attributed to, Jacob, is their lack of success on the field. It really is. I mean, they have a beautiful stadium, Ford Field. They have their own. Obviously, they have their own facility in Allen Park. They've got a lot of the amenities, and the Fords are billionaires. Reality is the Lions are a victim of their lack of success. And I said this on an earlier show today, that the less success you have at the gate, then unfortunately it's going to bite you at the box office. And I don't care how good your TV deal is. At some point, you still want to bring the fans back and think that you can make money on the concessions, the food, and so forth. You know.
Well, Dan Campbell, I'm glad to see you back, Jen.
Hi, gentlemen.
Well, Dan Campbell is going to be a prove-it point for Detroit. Dan Campbell wants to win.
Right.
He obviously wants to win. And we were talking about the deal earlier, just to bring you up to speed, Jen. We were talking about, that there's only two teams that make money from football and only football in the NFL. That's the Bears and the Bengals. Everybody else, it's real estate, it's oil, it's everything else. And the thing is, right now, Carolina, what about, it's pretty, that's it right now. But what about Carolina's, what about Tepper? What is his, real estate?
No, hedge funds. Jerry Jones, well, honestly, the guy still surpassed what the Cowboys own by, I think, 200%.
Yeah, but what about the Steelers? Do they? I wasn't sure you bringing them up. Do they have a thing that's making them a boatload of money, or is it mainly football? I'm not sure about that one.
Tepper probably manages their hedge funds.
Right. Yeah, right. No kidding.
The Rooneys, and we know the Packers are publicly owned.
Yeah, that doesn't. But they'll do. See, but the thing about the Packers is this is going to get very interesting with the Packers, though, because if the Chicago Bears are going after a dome stadium, okay.
Right.
If the Bears are going after a dome stadium, then what's going to happen is it is completely showing that free agents do not want to go play in 4-degree weather in January. That is a whole fan experience now when someone wants to check off. They don't want it anymore. The players do not want it anymore, which means Lambeau will have to come to fruition eventually because they're going to lose Aaron Rodgers. He's going to get older and they're going to lose him. Then they're not going to get people back. They're not going to get the free agent. They're not going to get them. That's why you go to frozen Green Bay so you can go play with Aaron Rodgers.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
But wait, who's Aaron's backup? He's a pretty solid backup.
No, he's not. Jordan Love sucks. Love sucks.
Oh, I forgot who was it that they drafted that got his panties in a twist?
I'm not, but I'm just. Jordan Love. They got his panties in a twist.
Oh, was Jordan Love? Okay.
Yeah.
Jordan Love's horrible. And I've been saying it since he got drafted, even before they got onto the field. I saw him play at Nevada. He's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to ask you though, Jacob. Obviously, the Rooneys, do they have a big? I don't know if they're a business on the side that would fall into.
Art Rooney's
Rooney's
the
have
senior.
a big business.
Art Rooney Sr. was a promoter. So he
Okay.
promoted music, boxing, all that kind of stuff for years. So it could be a promotion company that they had, but I'd have to double check on that.
All right.
I'm Googling it right now.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about the Rooneys. And again, the Packers are a different animal because they're a publicly owned team. But you're right. Otherwise, you have another owner with deep pockets that owns something, which allows them to have the wealth that they have.
Well, like I was saying, the reason I brought that up with that is because the McCaskies, they're going to sell. There's no question. I mean, they're heading toward 80. She's 100.
They're kind of involved in politics.
Oh,
what's that?
The Rooneys? Okay.
And then
what was that, Jennifer? I didn't catch that.
There's someone involved in politics and acting.
Okay.
Like Mara Rooney is part of the family.
Yep.
Okay.
The Rooneys and the Roon. Oh yeah, definitely.
Giants. And the grandfather was actually the paternal grandfather. Wellington Mara was the longtime co-owner of the Giants.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, you gotta love Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The biggest thing about it is the fact that it's like we're not going to see that anymore once the Browns sell. And I mean, Mike Brown's getting older. Paul Brown's long dead.
Right.
And it's like we're not going to see that anymore with money, because money remember that the Bears were bought for $100 by George Halas. It is now over $6 billion. So look at that percentage. But we're never going to see that again, because when it was bought, $100 was almost like about $8,000, $10,000 then,
right?
15.
Right.
That money does not move far anymore. You cannot go just off of one area anymore, anywhere.
Right. Yeah, you're right. No debate there. I mean, you're right. I mean, look what the Denver Broncos just sold for. Was it They ended up Walmart.
Yeah, but my question is, I don't know. I feel like Walmart is trying to buy the entire NFL, because I don't feel like one family should own more than one team. But that's just me.
I truly believe the first. Here's the thing. I don't think they're going to get that, because I truly believe the first black owner will be a Chicago Bears owner. I believe it's going to be Byron Allen. You know, he has a lot of those black black media stations. He's worth a couple $2 billion. I think he could be the one.
Yeah, but you had one.
I kind of wish P. Diddy had bought my team instead. He was threatening to.
Yeah, but you know what?
Byron Allen's safe, though.
You had Robert Johnson, wasn't it? The Bob Johnson.
Yeah.
Getting old. Robert Johnson's getting old. That's the whole thing about
Jordan, right? Jordan runs the team now, I believe.
Jordan's the primary owner. Nelly's one of the a small owner. But Bob Johnson's nothing to do with the Charlotte Hornets anymore.
Right.
Robert Johnson's getting old. That's the whole thing. It's like
Michael Jordan also always wanted to own the Hornets, because when he played, he loved and hated playing in Charlotte, because we were the loudest arena for him to play in. And I mean, he's on record saying that. Plus, it's his home team. It's 2 hours away from Chapel Hill. So, he can get in his helicopter and get up to Chapel Hill for games whenever he wants.
Right.
So,
the biggest thing about it is the fact that when I was saying about the Robert Johnson being older and everything, this is the deal. Robert Johnson in our day was the black owner buying everything in our in the 90s, 80s and 90s. He was that. That's Byron Allen now. But Robert Johnson's 86, 7, something along those lines. It's like
he was so narcissistic though, dude. Like Bobcats, really. Bobcats do not really exist in the Charlotte metro area. Just saying.
Right.
Well, remember who you had though before Johnson, before George.
Oh yeah, George Jenn. Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in that area though on a couple of occasions too. I used to work for the Gastonia Rangers in 1987 when Sammy Sosa was there, Juan Gonzalez, and then I returned there earlier in the millennium, took another job, and then came back to Florida because I missed being here. But so I have a pretty good general idea of the area itself. So I
Yeah.
know exactly what they do.
Yeah, you know everything George Shen did that was disgusting and naughty.
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually
I
know I was friends with the victim's cousin.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he and I were very good friends for a very long time.
Jen knows
So-
everybody. You have to learn that. She
Yeah.
I
knows
used to be the
everybody.
queen bee of the queen QC. Scott, we probably knew each other and we didn't know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right, Jen. Well, but as they all say, Jennifer, better late than never, huh?
Hey,
Exactly.
now she's the
Yeah.
queen of the suburbs.
Yeah, well, I believe. Hey, listen, I have nothing but the utmost respect for the Charlotte area. I really do. I mean, I lived in a place called Heatherwood Apartments right near the Arboretum out there by the Jewish
Yeah.
Community Center, so I know that area real
My
well.
brother-in-law actually lived there for a hot minute too.
It
before
wasn't
he
bad.
moved to
I
Vegas.
enjoyed that area.
Yeah. In the Heatherwood Apartments, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, my goodness. See, folks in Charlotte, I know your city. When I come to your city, I have no problem going to
Exactly.
your
You know what
city.
city? Am I freezing again?
Huh?
Nope.
Okay,
Nope.
cool.
It's not wintertime. No.
No, I'm just thinking that'd be a great score by no score on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Jen screen freeze again.
But
yeah.
while you're off, though, I was mentioning to Jacob that the one thing in the NFL compared to the MLB is as long as you got revenue sharing, then you don't have the haves or have-nots. I mean, for example, let's take a look at the Milwaukee Brewers and the Green Bay Packers. Let's face it, the Packers are a smaller market team in MLB. It's hard to retain their people, but yet you look at the Packers, they can get anybody they want. I mean, because there's more parity in the NFL, where I'm not so sure that's particularly the case in MLB.
The Packers have been so smart because they've had illustrious quarterbacks.
Yeah, but my point, Jennifer, is I understand the quarterback. I'm just talking about the comparison between.
Oh yeah, they've been geniuses about it, and the Packers are the only team that can be publicly owned.
Right.
The thing about the Packers is I was I would say I'm one of the rare ones. Scott also, by the way, we remember Lynn Dickey, Jim Zorn, Don Mikowski. Some terrible. I mean, the Mikowski is the best of all. Goes down the list. It's about 4 of them before Mikowski even.
Right.
And it's like my memories come in '84 and very, very vividly from 6 years old. I'm not kidding. And there's those types, and it's like, and it can really come back to that for the Packers again, and double the bad, because I'm just saying this. Forrest Gregg was a good coach in a bad situation.
Yeah.
They're not. If the Chicago Bears were to give up Soldier Field to go get a dome and to go get business, the Packers aren't going to stand a chance with Lambeau. They are not with coaches, not with the players, nothing. It's going to go back to the 80s again. And this is not a Bears-Packers thing. I'm just being honest with it.
No, I understand. Well, listen, you want to really go there. I remember when John Brockington was carrying the rock, and Harlan Huckleby out of Michigan was actually, this is where I'm showing my age, by the way. I really am. So, to me, it's one of those deals where we can definitely go back and forth about quarterbacks. Don Mikowski used to play for the Lions at one point.
Scott, you have to understand, whereas Jacob and I are the same age, I'm a young 44. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, and I'm 60 years old, going on 100, Jennifer.
No, you're not.
No, I'm a younger 44, but just with an older dad. I had an older dad, and we never had cable, so I have some very unique knowledge of things from 6 years old on.
Yes. We didn't have cable until I was a teenager.
We didn't have it at all.
The first time I ever heard about cable TV when I was up at Michigan State University with some friends that were at a restaurant in East Lansing, Michigan. And I remember watching ESPN reruns all day long, thinking it were fresh episodes, and go figure.
I remember watching those in the 90s.
I was watching.
I watched the Global Wrestling Federation.
I used to watch 1979 when George Grand, Tom Mees, Chris Berman were doing all their stuff. So, I go back a ways. In fact, I'll tell you, I did meet Bob Lee up the road from you guys in Winston-Salem for the National Sports Media.
What is he, about 70 now, Bob Lee?
Yeah, something like that. Bob's one of the greatest broadcasters, and we spent a lot of time together. And I picked his brain, and he was fantastic. We had a good time. And what do you think the next day is? He retired after I was heading back to Florida, and it was great to take some pictures up there.
Oh, no. You're the reason he retired. He just had to get.
Well, I think he was. Jacob, to be honest with you, I think really what happened, he was tired of the direction that ESPN was going in.
Oh, ESPN sucks.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This is the thing, Scott, and I bring this truthfully. I am proud of Sideline Sports. I'm proud of having Jen with me as a producer and Jay, and I'm the Jay Nelson. I am proud of the thing. It's because I feel like I'm building something where where I'm going to be left alone, where someone can question, where we can do all this, where it isn't hit and run media.
right.
Right.
I feel like we're building something real.
And JB and Eric and John respect us.
Yes.
And they respect what we bring to the table, and they allow us to have our own voice. And that's part of the reason why, as you know, Scott, you're friends with him too. Like, I still hail Alex so highly because, you know, it was just our thing. But let's get into a topic that I'm very excited about too, Jensen.
All right.
Well, let me say one thing, and
No.
I just want to get into it. Okay.
Go ahead.
I had to get her to smile. But anyways, no, I've begun working with Sideline Sports this year, and I was on a couple of their sports arena shows. But I've gotten to know the whole group in its entirety between JB, Eric, and John Shearer and the rest of them. And I've never and I'm so glad that we're working with them now a lot more, because now it's opened up new relationships. So not only what they're doing, we're able to go on their shows and cross promote one another. So I think it's probably the best move we've made all year, aligning with Sideline Sports. And now look what we have here tonight. A great show here, and with you guys. Thankful to be a part of what we're doing here on Pundits Pundit. I really am.
Exactly.
To me, it's just
and Denzel Snipes, you are missed.
Yes.
There, I said it. And especially since you defend me against Jacob about putting mayonnaise in my coffee. Jacob, that's just unforgivable. Scott, he accused me of putting mayonnaise in my coffee. That's disgusting.
Do you want to steal your thunder, Jen? Go ahead. You want another topic? I'm all ready, and whatever you want to get.
And I'm sorry, I just wanted to be a smarty pants.
Okay.
So
you mean smart ass.
I'm trying to be good after I accidentally said naughty words in the past.
I don't accidentally say them. I just say them.
Just be glad you're not FCC regulated. That's fine.
Oh, yeah, right.
I got my first job in Detroit at WXYZ Radio ABC, producing a sports talk show, and then I've worked with terrestrial radio, and I had to know where the fine line was as a producer as well as an on-air talent.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I got very animated one night and accidentally said something I really shouldn't have said on air. And I really wish we had been pre-recorded so that I could have taken it off.
There you go.
Sorry, Eric. Love you.
Well, the media's mistake over the XFL Together lawsuit. I want to bring this part, and I know this is close to your heart too. You know, Jen.
So, do you know about the Together XFL lawsuit, Scott?
A little bit, but bring me up to speed.
Well, the main thing about it is Together had a little X under Together, like a little X on the thing, the logo, and they sued. They are putting a cease and desist and sued because they think the XFL's X looks completely alike from it. The biggest issue is this is the media's mistake. They keep thinking this is let's see, Megan Rapinoe and Sue Bird versus The Rock, which it's not. It's Danny Garcia, the CEO. Which this is the big thing though. It's like they don't. Again, you put them in a box. They don't want to see women versus women. But that's exactly what it is. The Rock has his own thing he does in there, but she is the CEO. She's the decision maker.
Okay.
And go ahead, Jen. I'm sorry.
It was actually put together by, as you said, Simone. I was about to combine like three names right there. Sue Bird and Sue, thank you for an amazing career. We really greatly appreciate everything you did. And your chance thanking you last night brought me to tears when I saw it on ESPN's Twitter today. Simone Manuel, Chloe Kim, whom we've discussed on this show before, like love her. And then
Megan Rapinoe.
No, Alex Morgan.
But Megan Rapinoe's part of the Together, isn't she? Because
She may be part of it, but she's not one of the founders.
Well, she's out. Here was the thing. She was out in front. Thank you, Matt. And she was completely out in front of the lawsuit until people found out how much she was hated. And until the people found out how much she was hated. They put Sue Bird immediately out in front of this lawsuit. I mean, look, Sue Bird's nice. Sue Bird's a sweetheart.
She always has a smile on her face.
Yes. You don't want Megan Rapinoe out in front of anything. They don't stand.
Well, and that's my issue. Like, I appreciate everything Megan Rapinoe has done for female athletes. I truly do. But she's done so many disrespectful things.
Yeah.
In the public eye. And I know she thinks she's having fun. I just have found several things she did really disrespectful. And Matt, we're not doing a fantasy football section this evening, but thank you. We'll have you on when we do.
We definitely will. And the biggest thing about it is the fact that here's what the XFL is bringing. The XFL, and I'm saying this, Scott, I have my theory, and I think my theory is going to be pretty close to right, is the Vince McMahon's XFL was never going to bring names. It just wasn't. I think, considering with the whole situation right now, I believe by 2023, we're going to see some halfway decent names, and 2024, some big names going to the XFL because of just the way the NFL kind of runs itself.
So I will say I did like a lot of the rules the XFL had. And right. I like that it was giving players a second chance.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think, though, Scott?
God, you know what? I'm not so sure that if the XFL is going to be able to land the players you're talking about. First of all, we've only had 2 versions of it. It hadn't worked. Let's just see if
But that was also Vince McMahon.
I know. Doesn't matter.
Well, Vince wasn't part of the second one.
Well, here's what I think, okay? Let me see the XFL, no matter who's running it, succeed 1 year, okay? 1 year, and then talk to me a year later after they've done it, okay? Now, I realize that whatever The Rock gets his hands on is pretty good. I understand. Danny Garcia is a very intelligent woman. Get that part too. But and I know they brought in some pretty good coaches as well. I believe Wade Phillips is in there, Hines Ward is in there, just to name a couple off the top of my head.
Wade Phillips, Wade Phillips is a nice name.
Yeah, Bob Stoops is back in there again. He should after what happened to him the first time.
At least it's not Jeff Fisher.
So I guess my point, Jacob, is this. Let me see them Survivor year first, okay? But I don't see them getting the players that you seem to think they are. The NFL is always going to be king of the hill.
The biggest thing about it is the fact that it's like I see this. My opinion, my theory. I see this eventually coming up, kind of like the old school NBA players that went over to the Big Three.
Okay.
And stuff like that. They might be this younger players that want to play, or older players that are ready to, that might be ready to go, but they still want to play. I can see names coming through. No one wanted to play with a Vince McMahon thing. No one gave it a chance. But
it wasn't half bad. Like Alan and I were watching it.
No, it wasn't half bad at all. But it wasn't. But it's like you've got to get. You're right. The Rock. What he touches turns to gold, because you got to remember all the businesses that he's bought. He only bought XFL for $15 million. Everything he buys, everything he buys and everything he gets it for pennies.
Well, first of all, isn't his TV contract, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, with ABC and ESPN, right? I believe.
Yes, it is.
That's right. Okay, so you are right on that sense. And USFL, obviously, and I'm going to just give you guys a little teaser here. That'll be one of the topics we talk about on tonight's edition of the Sports Exchange. So stay with us as we carry over there. Yeah, and that made it for a year, but your broadcast partners there happen to be NBC and I believe Fox. So, and remember, you're talking about good entertainment during the spring anyhow. And again, I'll get into that later. But the bottom line is this, okay? Let's just be wonders. I think $15 million to buy a league and with a much different animal like The Rock and Danny, it'll be fine. And I'll be curious to see what all the different rule changes and innovations that you have with it as well. So, and the NFL knows that I believe they're partnering with them on this venture a little bit too, because they want to use the XFL to try to implement certain things that maybe can benefit the NFL as well. So it figures to be a win-win on the surface, but $15 million to buy a league isn't bad, especially when you know the guy's got it and there's a lot of intelligence at the top. So
there was no bank loan there.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I need to see 1 year that they make it before I'm going to sit there and do cartwheels that the XFL, the third rendition of it, is going to be any good. I'm not ready to go there. I'm just being honest with you. I'm not ready to go there.
No, that's fair.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. It's like, no,
I just liked how they implemented a lot of the rules and how some of the play calling and how pretty much, like, I know it takes so much longer, but it wasn't that much longer when they had every play reviewed upper deck. Like, it really did not extend that much time. And it was a more clear, concise, truthful ruling on the field.
Yeah, if you're going to see major rule changes or experiments, you're going to see them in leagues like the USFL and the XFL, because you know what? If you see a replay system much quicker than the one that you have, to me, then, and there'll be a lot more. I mean, I'll be curious to see what league goes into a season without getting rid of the kickoff, which they've talked about. You never know if that'll ever be on the table. We don't know. But, there'll be certain things that, again, trial and error. Let's go to baseball for a minute. I don't like the idea eventually the implementation of the pitch clock, and I don't like the ghost runner, but they're implementing them anyhow. So I don't like certain things that take away from the purity of the game. But you know what? When you have a league such as either the USFL or the XFL, and they're going to do it, and it doesn't matter, you're not talking about Super Bowl 50, whatever. Okay, that's not the point. But if you can go ahead and bring on something that, this is interesting, we may do this, and now we've seen it in action. And when you look at baseball, when you got the Atlantic League and all these robot umpires trying all these gimmicks to see what's going to work,
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's the same thing regardless of what the sport is, regardless of what the league. You want to see it somewhere else before you bring it to the big time.
Well, see, the XFL, remember, the XFL brought pretty much the first drone the camera above. They did that, and the NFL copied it right at the time of the year.
Right, they did. Right. But I am proud of the ladies, bringing it back to the topic at hand. I'm very proud of the ladies for standing up for themselves because they're doing everything right. Because good night, I love you. Because they're doing everything right. They're four powerful voices in female sports and athletics, and them going up against XFL and saying, hey, it's not worth it that, like, y'all are copying our stuff. Good for them.
Well, the biggest issue they're going to have, it's like one of the only thing, the one big thing XFL did do is they quietly scrubbed together from their website. That's one of the things. But to think if they're going to go after the logo, it's not going to get there. And if it goes any farther, I know they don't have the same money and same resources that The Rock does. They're just not going to win there.
Right.
But they're going to get powerful attorneys just for who they are.
Well, yeah, but
even if it's pro bono work, because keep in mind, every single attorney has to take on one pro bono case a year.
Yeah, but it's like, but either way though. But okay, if they have to, but have they taken it? How many did they get?
Well, I don't know, but then you could always get I think they'll win because The Rock actually does appreciate sports of all sorts. Right. So I don't think he recognized or realized that they had stolen it. Somebody may have seen it, not realized it, and was like, "Oh, that's cool." Maybe they saw it in passing, didn't realize it was patented.
But the biggest issue is the fact that it's, again, this is the thing that,
because really, does The Rock want that noise? Think about it.
Well, here's the issue with this though. Does The Rock want the Rock's? See, they're gonna hope it's The Rock.
The Rock doesn't want that noise. He doesn't want to go up against four of the most famous female athletes out there. Not the most, but four of the most.
Here's the thing though. They're gonna want to hope The Rock is the one they're facing because Danny won't put up with it. She won't.
But they were in the wrong.
The Rock's the nice guy. The Rock's a nice guy. She's bad cop.
Right, I get that. But here's the thing. They were in the wrong.
XFL,
no ifs or buts about it. They were in the wrong.
Not with the X.
With the X, they were.
No, that X.
And they had the X first. Yeah, they had the X first. They were right.
No, they're gonna. That's the thing, though. Is like they scrub together.
But Jacob Wright is right. Like, there's proof that they had it first.
But the thing is, though,
so it's chronological order.
Regardless, they scrub together. That's part of the deal. The X, they still up there. That's the whole point. The X is still up there for the XFL. So
they're not going to just cave in right away. They're probably negotiating right now because these stories started coming out in June.
Well, you know, if you're going to bring up that comparison, okay, let me go somewhere else with it. All right. Remember when the Cleveland Guardians had to fight with the other team with the Guardians name in there? And how did that work?
Oh, yeah, that was the lacrosse team.
Right. So if you're going to go there, you got two Guardians. You know, you write a check, give them hush money, see you later, or find a way to negotiate your way out of it. Keep it anyways. The lacrosse team has no chance of beating the MLB team, so you might as well see what you can get out of it. So there's always going to be that little discrepancy with logos, this and that, and all that. But in the end, if you're bringing on lawyers, they're the only ones who win, and everyone's got to write the check. So what's the difference?
Right.
Who's what?
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I do. Like I said, the mistake anyway. I'm not putting it together as a mistake, nor the XFL's mistake. I'm putting the media's mistake. The whole media mistake that I was putting into this whole thing was they did not want to do a woman versus a woman in their narrative. They did not want to do women versus women. It was woman versus Rock, big Rock, and it's like you're going to want to wish it is Rock, and you're going to hope it is, because Danny will put on a bigger fight than he will. Mm-hmm. Rock's a nice guy. You know this yourself, Jen. You understand this. He's the nice guy. He's the one that has understanding with women's sports. He's the one with all that stuff. Danny is not going to put up with this as much as Rock would probably settle.
She might too.
Or
they might come to a compromise. Who knows?
Yeah.
They may end up giving money, and they both use the same ex.
Right.
Because there's always that option. But keep in mind, woman versus woman, most women are really protective of other women, especially right now. Like, women's rights are being attacked left, right, and center. Like, I know you and I have talked about this off record. Sinclair Media Group wants women athletes out of the picture completely. And because it's not legal. And so women's rights are being attacked. Even the right to play ball. Like, how does that affect you?
You know, there's that. I mean, remember, that's been a very saying that part right there. It's just the stupidest. It is just the stupidest thing in 2022. Yeah. Here's the deal. It was dumb enough to say it in the 80s when you had Pat Summitt running the basketball world, like the college basketball world. It was dumb enough then. That's 40 years. And that was saying that in her time. That was dumb then. This is dumb now. You know, to say that women shouldn't have sports.
It really is.
No, don't say that when you got the WNBA out there when nobody ever thought that would ever happen. So, you know.
That's as dumb as Matt Rule telling Christian McCaffrey he's got to put up this year. Well, Matt Rule has to quit IRing the guy for a damn rolled ankle.
It's like,
I was waiting for that one, Jennifer. I was waiting for a Matt Rule shot. There she goes. That's our Jennifer. You want to talk?
Matt Rule.
We have one more. We have one more thing tonight.
Did we want to discuss that tonight?
Yes, we do. Because
or do we want to wait for Jay because we're at the hour, and I wanted to give Scott a little time to tell him about himself.
All right, we'll wait for Jay next week.
Yeah, because that was something he was really fired up about.
Well, you know what though, and I got news for you. I'm glad that we'll wait on this for Jay next week because this is a great topic, and I've done a lot of research on this one, so I really have. So I think it warrants Jay and whoever else joins.
Yeah, because Jay really wanted to discuss this. So, and I know like when I've seen topics, I'm like, wait a minute, I wanted to be on that one.
I grew up in an era where this guy played. So, by all means, I definitely would like to give it the time. Hey, listen, I've enjoyed the topics we talked about tonight. They're very enlightening in their own way. They are, and it's good that we're able to address them for sure.
And I'll tell you this, next week, Scott, one of the topics we got is what Deion Sanders is doing for the HBCUs and changing the college football world.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you are putting that one. I've got some opinions on that.
Oh yeah.
I really do. So no,
I'll keep my mouth shut. I'm glad Deion Sanders is doing good things. I don't like him, but good things.
Well, we have to go to the GMTA thing again, Jen. I don't know if Jacob knows it. Great minds think alike. Don't worry, Jacob.
No. I mean, no, it's one of the things. I understand that may not like him. This is my thing with Deion. I had said this from the beginning with Deion, though. It's like when I heard he was going to Jackson State, I knew what he was doing, and I was saying I want him to keep doing that, or go to another HBCU and do the same thing, because they have gone to the presidents for hat in hand for 100 years.
Right.
Before they're having that. to 100 years to get money for their thing here. They struggle every year. They can't get anything. Dion literally has at Jackson State, they literally have state-of-the-art. The stadium, state-of-the-art. The locker rooms, they have all the technology.
And that's
They've
good.
got all that.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to talking about that one, plus the other subject that we'll throw a teaser out later.
So
no problem.
I want to change the topic, gentlemen. Scott, give us a little bit about your background and where you hail from and all of that, because you've got a great background and we're excited to have you part of the Pundits Pundit group.
As excited as I am to be with you guys, I'm telling you. As you folks get to know me on this show here, you're going to see all 42 years of my background. 42 years in media, sports media, that is. First job was at WXYZ Radio as a sports producer for the big sports talk show in the area. I've been on and off the air for 42 years. I've been a sports writer for a lot of years, and now I own my own company, the South Florida Tribune. We have a YouTube channel, which we hope everybody have an opportunity to please subscribe to. South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it. Have a lot of great shows on there. And we also have our publication, which Candy Ebling definitely does wonders for putting it together. And I really enjoyed this renaissance for me, having my own thing here in Southern Florida, because we don't only talk about Southern Florida, but I like my national background, connecting with all my national contacts as well. So I've always been a broadcaster by heart, and I've also been a writer, and now I have the opportunity to utilize the South Florida Tribune as a platform we're able to incorporate uno and dos, and that's the only Spanish I know, so don't expect me to get any deeper than the Spanish there. But yeah, broadcast.
There's Trace.
Oh, well, that's okay. I don't know where the Trace is part of it and all that. All I know is those stupido, because I've had a lot of people in Spanish use that to me, and I'm not even sure how to realize. I think it's stupid, but I'm not really sure. But I won't get into my lack of foreign language background. We'll wait for that on another show. But no, but I've been in the media for 42 years. I've covered 4 Super Bowls, and I've covered thousands and thousands of events over the years. And, you know, I feel I have a deep fire in me to continue to expand what I'm doing, which is why I'm glad to be working with Sideline Sports with you, Jen, Jacob, Jay, and as well as JB, John Shear, Eric Wilson, of course, honoring the legacy of Alex Fleming, who I did meet myself and work with him. You know, when I met him at the Jacksonville Jaguars, came in there and helped me during some fantasy football. The guy's got energy in there. So I just feel very fortunate that I can be working with such incredible people. So, you know, Jacob, I like when you say, the media, but remember one thing, Mr. Christner, okay? We're in it. So
we are recreating it.
Okay, but we're in it. Okay.
Guess what? Good. Guess what? Good. We're in it. But guess what? We're here to recreate it. We are here to make, to get big enough one day where they have to change themselves. Quit the hit and run crap. Let's recreate it. That's where I'm at right now. I hope we all are.
Oh, of course. Hey, listen, I'm an old dog. Listen, I'm an old dog learning new tricks. So what do you expect me to tell you?
Guess what? We're in it, but I'm getting in from I'm getting on in to get into the fire to change this thing. I'm tired of the hit. Like I said, the hashtag hit and run media.
Oh, I'm with you. Hey, again, GMTA, Jacob and Jen. Okay, yes. I guarantee I will drill it in you. If it's the last thing I do, if I lose my voice, so be it. But GMTA. And don't worry, I got enough voice for the next.
And you can always post in the comments when you can't talk or hold up signs. We can get you a dry erase board if your voice is bothering you, or if you get laryngitis.
I'm good. I was on a 2-hour show earlier today from 10 to 12, and I had all day basically to keep my mouth shut, not talk to anybody, do what I had to do, that kind of stuff. So I get ready for my triple header today between that one, this one, and the one that's going to be following us on the Sports Exchange, for which you, Jen, and Jacob, and Rick Curdy, another Charlotte guy, is going to be on it as well.
We're going to enjoy it.
Oh, we're going to have a blast, man. Yeah, but just to give you an overview, folks. Okay, 42 years in media, sports media, I should add, and a little bit of non-sports related content. Broadcaster / writer, love it. I've always been a firm believer. If you can write it, you can certainly talk it. And there's a lot of great sports writers that have gone out there and walk the walk and talk the talk. So I'm just recreate myself, like you say, Jacob, in another manner.
And that's awesome. And it's like, and just to let you all know, I will be joining. I'll be joining Scott on his show in about 10 minutes.
Right. Sports Exchange.
Sports Exchange. I will be joining, and I am proud to be able to do that. I'm going on the other side.
And Jacob, where else can everybody find you?
Oh boy. Okay. Pundits Pundit on Wednesdays now, no longer Thursdays, because we have the NFL carousel. So it's Wednesdays. The Wednesdays. I have a different show for Thursdays now, though. The Wednesday there, and then Sports Exchange with Scott. Right. I will be on that Wednesdays. Thursdays, a new show with TJ Sampson called Yin and Yang. It is about movies, politics, and any other thing from two differing points of view.
Aren't you glad I freed up your Thursday night, Jacob?
What?
I said, aren't you glad I freed up your Thursday night?
Yes, I am.
Hey, TJ.
Yeah. And huh?
Oh, that's okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then let's see. The last Saturday I was on the Gauntlet. Hopefully I'll be on the Gauntlet for a few other Saturdays. We'll see on that. Sundays is Basket Bros. I think we'll be seeing you on there pretty soon, also, Scott.
Yeah, actually, I'm slated to go on the Gauntlet this Saturday. I decided to pass on Florida Atlantic University so I can come on.
No problem.
On the Gauntlet, and are you going to be able to come on the Basketball Bros on Sunday?
You better believe it. Come on,
awesome. That's the show I am excited to have you on.
Oh, yes, you are.
Absolutely.
I'm very excited. I'm going to actually mute Jacob so you can talk during that show.
Oh my goodness! Well, let me tell you,
especially when you talk bird.
I know on forever about the NBA. I have such a deep background, but let me tell you, Jennifer's going to be on with me on Thursday on Inside the Pigskin with Mel Farr, player.
He'll talk about bird more than I will.
Huh?
He'll talk bird more than I will.
Jacob, you're making me do it.
I got news for you though, Jennifer. She was on with us before with Mel and Steve Ballesteri, my two heavy hitters, and we thought she did a great job. And now she's a permanent part of the Inside the Pigskin. So you know what? I took her away for my Thursday for this heavy duty show Inside the Pigskin, and I get you every week, Mr. Christner, on the Sports Exchange, which is my premier sports show. That's on the South Florida Tribune Broadcasting Network, pal.
Oh, he gets a premiere show, Scott?
It's my premier sports show. It really is.
Really? He gets a premiere show and I don't? Uh-huh.
What's
I was on before him? Yeah, whatever.
I'm
just giving you a hard time. I'm truly giving you a hard time, Scott.
I get it worse here no matter what. But you're on the Sports Exchange, Jennifer, because you made yourself available tonight. So you and Jacob were going to be reunited, and it feels so good on the other end.
And it's Monday. And Monday nights during the season, we Megan Price's. Thank you. I'm not tired enough to forget her last name. Megan Price's NBA Carousel, and then Tuesday nights Confidential. So I have a lot going on, plus the movie that I'm helping with called The Awakening. I'm helping produce right now also. So I got a lot going on.
So, folks, if you can keep track of what we just said, you deserve a big-time gold medal because Jacob, Jen, and I have a lot going on. And I haven't talked about the other shows I have, which I'll wait for another day.
Producing and added responsibilities, as well as commentator on the NBA Carousel with Miss Megan Price, the Queen of Hoops. Tuesday nights, we've got 3 Chicks in a Pod and Chicks in Salsa, which is a new show that Miss Candy Eppeling will be a part of as well. And then we'll also have, and I don't know if I was supposed to announce that yet or not, but whoops, don't tell the girls. And then Confidential on Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, the best late night Cubs talk show. Wednesday nights, Pundits Pundit. Thursday nights, I've got Inside the Pigskin with Mr. Scott Motor City Mad Mouth, Morganroth. And then I've also got Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. Friday nights, I got nothing. Saturday night, Dom Derubis and Jay Nelson, when y'all invite me again. I'll go back on the Gauntlet. And then on Sundays, I produce our share production duties with Mr. Denzel Snipes as well. And Denzel Snipes, you are missed, and Where's Willer Light?
And Dom Derubis is going to be on Fire Up Michigan, so I'm looking forward to having him on there.
You're going to have fun.
Him on there, too. So, yeah, again, what I love about this network is how we're able to have a lot of talented commentators go back and forth. And, yeah, I'll be on Saturday night for the Gauntlet show, and I'm looking forward to the Basket Bros for sure. I have a big, steep NBA background, and, of course, what can I say? I have like 10, 12 shows on my network anyhow. So different folks for different strokes and all that when it comes to the variety that we have. So it's really good stuff. I have a lot of good moving parts. And Jennifer gets to go on the legendary Sports Exchange tonight. My
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my God.
Well, we're going to come over to the Sports Exchange. because if you want to see more of us.
Yeah, and also one last thing, please, folks, subscribe to the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. We greatly appreciate it, so you can get all these updates all over the place. Thank you.
And I tried to put the link in the chat, but it just linked to where I shared it on my Facebook page. So,
be great. Thank you. So,
all right, you're welcome.
All right. So,
Thanks,
meanwhile,
guys.
the Sports Exchange is coming up. Afterwards, we're going to have Jen, Jacob, myself, and Rick Curdy, another guy in Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to have one explosive show. Got 5 topics and a parting shots I take from the Sports Exchange. So I'll promote it in a moment. Get you there. Meanwhile, look forward to having you on. It's going to be an awesome show tonight. I guarantee.
Thank you so much. All right, bye, guys. And y'all can stay on afterwards if you want.